there was any music to cut, just
moment of silence, maybe.
No.
Man, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back in to yet another Celtics Talk weekly post-game show, guys. Tonight, the Celtics. Well, I think awful would be a compliment. They were pathetic. They were. It was terrible. Out in the sixth tonight. 110-97, guys, was your final score against the previous 9-win, now 10-win Toronto Raptors, guys. It was a bad performance from all angles of it tonight, guys. So before we get started, I just want to say welcome back in. I am your host, Rob Haytayan. Joined with me are my co-hosts, Justin Lowe, Randy Elfman, Seamus Zarlingo. Guys, I got a little bit of energy tonight, but I wish I didn't. You guys know the drill here. Our initial thoughts, reactions, takeaways, it was just bad.
Who wants to tee off first? I mean, really. Who wants to tee off first? Go ahead, Randy.
Who wants them? Randy, you take it.
Who wants them first?
Keep it PG. It kind of sucks that we even have to sit here and just there's just so many things that have gone wrong with this team. I mean, tonight, I'm trying to just think of words to even say. I mean, we saw the Celtics face basically a G League team. I mean, Jamal Shed, Grady Dick. I mean, I haven't seen Scotty Barnes play like that since he was at Florida State. I mean, come on. This team is a disaster right now. And, tonight was just honestly just summed up basically the last month and a half, losing to a team that could not even be in the NBA, really. And we made them look like, the 2017 Warriors. And it's just, like I said, I don't even have words. I mean, to lose that bad. I mean, this team doesn't even look like they want to play basketball. Why don't we just go out there and play? Right? I mean, might as well.
I mean, that kind of money, I'll gladly
be there. I mean, we've talked about it over. It's just effort at this point, and it's. I don't even know what else to say. Maybe a big change is coming for this team. I don't know. Is Joe Mazzulla pushing the wrong buttons right now? We'll see.
A lot of questions.
I don't know what's going on. Someone else take it from here.
He doesn't want it.
Well, first of all, let's address this comment. I mean, I agree. The intro, it's like we need a sad intro for this month of January.
I know. I was thinking about that as it was going on. I was like, I'm a little too happy right now. What is going on?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be a fun time on the post game, but when the Celtics are losing, it's just it's all around. It's like there's the championship hangover goes far beyond what we're seeing on court right now. It's everybody. It's Abby Chin is so happy reporting everything on the sideline, and Drew Carter and Scal, they're just so happy-go-lucky to be on the broadcast, and we come in here and our intro is happy, yet the Boston Celtics record right now, 28-12 after starting the season, 19-4, and it's now been almost a month where we're talking about consistency with this Boston Celtics team. And the team gaining back consistency, and we're back into the loop of, oh, great, we won against the Pelicans. Wasn't great, but at least a win is a win. And hey, we're kind of turning the corner here, maybe turning the corner there, but
never said we're turning the corner, dude. No way.
No. Last post game, I said I'll take responsibility for this.
I did.
You guys weren't saying it. I was more so saying during the stretch of January, it's like, okay, we're 5-2. We're 5-2. We're kind of, turning the corner a little bit in some of these games, specifically that 3-game win streak against the Raptors, the Timberwolves, the Rockets. And then you come in and play well against Oklahoma City for one half, of course. I'm not going to ruin the second half, I swear.
We can't.
After that,
it's like that
after that, you
play that never stops mentioning he was a varsity athlete.
You play a good game in Denver if you're the Boston Celtics against the Nuggets, even without Nikola Jokic. That was a tougher game than some may have looked at it on the surface. So they play a tough game there, and after that stretch, we're going, all right, 4-1, it's not bad. But then you come home, you lose a terrible game to the Kings. You almost lose to the Pelicans on a buzzer beater by CJ McCollum. And then we go up to Toronto, and Justin, you were saying a wire-to-wire, blow them out by 50 win. And that was far from what we saw tonight. Far. I mean, it was with 70 points on the other end. It was a 70-point turnaround from what we saw against this Toronto team last time. Well, let's see. What was the actual margin? What was like 67-point turnaround, I want to say, because they beat us by 13. Last time we beat them by 54. But what's particularly frustrating right now from the Boston Celtics is it doesn't look like they want to be playing basketball out there. Randy said it already. The whole game, it just felt like the team was going through the motions on both ends of the floor. The broadcast was honing in on the defensive end, but the offense, it almost felt like, all right, yeah, let's get into our offense now. And there's just no intensity on either end of the floor, specifically on the offensive end. You got to be doing things with intent to go downhill, get that bucket, really create those open shots from the perimeter. It really just felt like, we're going through the motions here tonight. We're just going to run our plays the way they're supposed to be ran. But nobody was doing anything with intent throughout this entire game. And that's really what stood out for me from this Boston Celtics performance tonight is just really Peyton Pritchard on the top of the screen here. He's the only player who really showed up for the Boston Celtics in terms of his intensity and energy tonight. Everybody else just didn't quite look like they wanted to be out there. Oh, it's cold. We're north of the border. We should win this against the Toronto Raptors. And that just wasn't the case when you're facing a team that ultimately lost by 54 points the last time out against the Boston Celtics. And from that standpoint, yeah, we expected the Celtics should roll over the Raptors yet again, but it ended up being the Celtics roll over and suffer a defeat to the Toronto Raptors, who came to play tonight. The Toronto Raptors actually wanted to come out and win this game, and it's really surprising looking at how the Raptors played tonight that they only have 10 wins on the season. Really, they've been injured. The personnel is not that great for Toronto, but 2-game win streak for Toronto against Golden State and Boston. You never would have thought this at the beginning of the season, but you can see clearly on the floor tonight how that played out for the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. Seems like we're coming in here after every single loss now and saying this is the worst loss of the season yet. Does this top the Friday night game against the Sacramento Kings? That one was at home.
Easily.
You're facing
This easily
a better
tops it.
Kings team. This
undoubtedly.
one is
easily
just
tops it. Blows it. That one that makes it look like kind of like a reasonable loss. This one was this was bad. This was bad.
I said this on Sunday, and shame on me for having some faith in this team. Like, shame on me for not kicking them while they were down. I mean, I didn't say a 50-point win. I did not say that, but I did expect a double-digit wire-to-wire win from the Boston Celtics here tonight. Instead, what did I get? I got a double-digit wire-to-wire win from the Toronto Raptors tonight, and that is pathetic. That is pathetic. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it's January. I'm sick and tired of hearing they're still trying to gel. There is no excuses. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the complaining. It only makes it worse. The Celtic
we're going to complain. That's what's that's going to persist.
Is the Boston Celtics stink right now, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't exactly know what it is. One night the offense looks really solid, and it's the defense saying, in the breakdowns, we're saying, why is there so many defensive mislapses? Tonight, I don't know why everybody was harping so much on the defense. I didn't think we looked spectacular in the defensive end whatsoever, but offensively, we were absolutely atrocious. We were atrocious. It was mortifying. And it's been a constant thing this past month and a half. It's not been just January, because as Seamus mentioned before tonight, Celtics 5-2 in January. Look at the record on paper. Maybe we're not playing the prettiest brand of basketball, but 5-2 in your first 7 games of the year, you're going to look at that on paper and say, okay, Celtics aren't really doing that bad right now. But the way that the Celtics have performed, specifically in these last 3 games, Sacramento laid down in that fourth quarter, wasn't really playing with much effort. Then kick it to a couple days later on Sunday, New Orleans, one of the worst teams in the league. I understand they also have been going through some injuries without Brendan Ingram. Celtics nearly lost that game. CJ McCollum, you just mentioned it, Seamus, nearly a game winner. Celtics laid down in that game. The effort was definitely there. The execution, not so much. Some costly turnovers down the stretch really killed Boston. And then obviously tonight here against, I believe, the worst team in the league. And I get it. They've been also going through injuries. They had their guys healthy tonight. But a healthy 15-man roster for the Boston Celtics is better than a healthy 15-man roster of the Toronto Raptors, and they got obliterated tonight. I understand that the final score was 13 and the Celtics were within striking distance all night, but I said this during the game to you guys. I said there is no reason that I should be hearing the broadcasters saying, oh, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have only combined for 4 made shots, but they're still hanging around. In no game, and there's zero excuse for the defending champions to have the excuse of they're still in the game, they're hanging around, to an 8-31 team, a 9-31 team. There was no excuse for that. And Rob, you're going to talk about this, and I'm going to agree with you. It starts with Joe Mazzulla for me. And really quick, the starting lineup. The starting lineup has been terrible. I've been on their ass all week long, all month long, really. And tonight, they just proved my point further. A -83 tonight for the starting lineup. A -83, a +18 for the bench.
Yeah, I think that right now, you can't just point the finger at one person. So I will say that before I get in this. And I think we all could kind of agree on that.
Yep.
Tonight, I mean, we've said it. I don't want to be a broken record. The Celtics were pathetic. I mean, this is probably the worst loss we've seen under Joe Mazzulla. His tenure here, 2.5 seasons now. This is no doubt the worst one. And I will say this, my question, I think, to the Celtics nation and to the Celtics themselves are, how much further down this rabbit hole do we want to go? Because right now, the brand of basketball that we are playing is not working. And it hasn't been working now for just under 20 games. And I get it. We won a championship off of it, but the league adjusts. The league is dynamic. And for the first time in a long time, I'm sitting here and I'm questioning, is this going to work? So from a Joe Mazzulla standpoint, I think Joe needs to bring something new to the table. I think right now is the sample size is big enough for Joe to find something that's new, whether that's Walsh, whether that's trying to call up Shireman, whether that is starting Pritchard, whether that is changing within the systematic play style that the Celtics are playing and getting to the basket more, whatever it is, something needs to change there. Now, from a player standpoint, something needs to give with them as well. There is no reason that the Boston Celtics can't generate offense when they are playing this piss poor of a team. That I can't point the finger at Joe Mazzulla for going out there and laying out stinkers, right? The Celtics need the players themselves. They need to be better, plain and simple. Everyone right now, they need to be better. And I think right now, Celtics Nation needs to understand that you're going to hear a lot of names getting thrown around right now. You're going to hear Joe Mazzulla. You're going to hear Jason Tatum. You're going to hear Jaylen Brown, White. I mean, you're going to hear everybody, right? And I think the consensus needs to be here that we're all on agreement, and I hope we can all be on agreement. This is a question that it is everyone within this organization's right now fault. Maybe not Brad Stevens. I give you a pass. You're my guy right now still. But literally like everyone needs to be better. And I think that's the first step that the Celtics need to take is they need to look at each other in the mirror and say, you need to be better. I need to be better. Because if they can't do that, guys, then they aren't going to get better.
Yeah. Right now, like you said, it is really everyone. From even Joe. I mean, you look up and down the lineup. There's tonight, just for an example, I think it was 3.5 or maybe 2. It was almost 3 quarters through the game. And like Justin said, when your star players, when Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have a combined 4 field goals, they shot 4 for 17. So I think 3 or 3.5 quarters. I mean, that is unacceptable. I mean, that's terrible. It just can't happen. Like what superstars in the, like, if you were to go back, to 2017, right? You think there was a game Steph and KD had 4? Like, no, that is your superstars in this league.
No, but like that's unfair, I think, Randy, to the two Jays, because if you were to put 2 guys on a pedestal on this team that have been pretty consistent this year, I would put my finger on those 2. And I'm going to say this real quick. I hate to interrupt you and I hate to jump in. This team was constructed so that those 2 guys could have off nights, right? And I get it. That's a luxury not many teams have, and you might sound spoiled saying that. But the truth was that's what this team was constructed to do, was that they are so good that no matter if Jason Tatum's going for 40 or whether Jason Tatum's going for 20, this team, it's going to be one player any given night. But right now I'm looking, and Holiday's not giving you anything else. White's not giving you anything else. Porzingis has barely been giving you something. So it's like, while I agree Tatum and Brown, they were terrible tonight, I don't think it's fair to them to really their first bad game together, where they both play bad, probably of the year. I mean, I want to say Cleveland was pretty rough. But again, this roster was constructed to, that's not a problem. And right now, tonight, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Derek White. I'm looking at the other guys. I'm like, where are you? You haven't stepped up for 20 games now. Something's got to give.